There was a boy in the Mahabharata who was better than Arjuna, a tribal boy from the forest, self-taught, no royal lineage, no divine weapons, no cosmic connections, just pure, relentless, obsessive practice in the wilderness, day after day, year after year, until his skill with a bow surpassed the greatest archer the world had ever produced. His name was Eklavya, and what happened to him is one of the cruelest moments in all of mythology. Because his own guru, a man he worshipped, demanded a price so monstrous that it haunts every conversation about justice, merit, and caste in India to this very day. Let us start from the beginning. Eklavya was a Nishada, a tribal forest dweller. In the rigid social hierarchy of the Mahabharata, Nishadas occupied one of the lowest positions. They were hunters, fishermen, forest people. They were not allowed to study with royal teachers. They were not allowed to compete with kshatriyas. The doors of the establishment were bolted shut against them. And Eklavya wanted to learn archery. Not just any archery. He wanted to learn from Drona, the greatest archery teacher alive, the man who trained the Pandavas and the Kauravas, the man who had a reputation that reached every corner of the subcontinent. Eklavya walked out of his forest, traveled to Hastinapura, found Drona's academy, and asked to be accepted as a student. And Drona said no. He said it casually, like it was obvious. "You are a Nishada. I teach princes. This school is not for your kind. Go home." In some versions of the story, Drona had made a promise to Arjuna that he would make Arjuna the greatest archer in the world. Accepting Eklavya, who clearly had extraordinary potential, would threaten that promise. So the rejection was not just about caste, it was about protecting his favorite student's supremacy. But Eklavya did not go home. He went back to the forest, and he built a clay statue of Dronacharya, a murti, an idol. He placed it in a clearing in the woods. He offered it flowers and prayers every morning. He bowed before it every day. And then he practiced. He practiced with the statue as his guru, not metaphorically, literally. He treated the clay statue as if Drona himself were standing there, watching, correcting, teaching. Every arrow he shot for his guru. Every target he hit, he offered as tribute to the teacher who had rejected him. For years, Eklavya trained alone in the forest with nothing but a clay idol, his bow, and an obsession that bordered on madness. And he became extraordinary. Not just good, supernatural. He could shoot by sound alone. He could pin a moving target in complete darkness. His speed and accuracy were beyond anything that any student in Drona's academy had ever achieved. And then, the famous incident happened. One day, the Pandava princes were hunting in the forest with their dog. The dog wandered away from the group and stumbled into Eklavya's clearing. The dog started barking, and Eklavya, without harming the dog, fired 7 arrows simultaneously into the dog's mouth, pinning its jaw shut so it could not bark. Not one arrow drew blood. Not one arrow caused injury. 7 arrows, perfectly placed, silencing the bark without hurting the animal. When the Pandavas found their dog, they were stunned. This level of archery was beyond anything they had seen, beyond anything Arjuna could do. And Arjuna was supposed to be the best. They tracked the arrows back to the clearing and found Eklavya, a forest boy, in simple clothes, practicing alone, with a clay statue of their teacher. Arjuna was shaken. He went to Drona and said, "You promised me I would be the greatest archer in the world, but there is a boy in the forest who is better than me, and he claims you as his guru." Drona went to the forest. He found Eklavya. And this is where the story becomes unbearable. Eklavya saw Drona and fell at his feet, weeping with joy. His guru, his real guru, in the flesh, standing before him. After years of worshipping a clay idol, the living teacher was finally here. He said, "Gurudev, everything I am, everything I can do is because of you. You are my teacher. I am your student. I owe you everything." And Drona said, "If I am truly your guru, then you owe me Guru Dakshina, a fee. A gift from student to teacher, traditionally offered at the completion of training. It is a sacred custom. And Eklavya, without hesitation, said, "Anything, whatever you ask, ask." And Drona said, "Give me your right thumb." Your right thumb. The thumb that draws the bowstring, the thumb without which you can never shoot an arrow again. The thumb that represents everything you have worked for, everything you have achieved, every hour of practice, every year of devotion. Give me that.
And Eklavya, without a moment's pause, without a flicker of resentment, without a single word of protest, drew his knife and cut off his right thumb. He placed it at Drona's feet, blood dripping onto the forest floor. And he smiled, because his guru asked. And you give your guru what he asks. There is a silence after this story that hangs in the air, an uncomfortable, accusatory silence, because what Drona did was monstrous. He rejected a student because of his birth. That student surpassed all his accepted students through sheer willpower, and then Drona came to that student, accepted his devotion, accepted the title of guru, and used the sacred teacher-student relationship to cripple him. He weaponized devotion. He took the purest thing Eklavya had, his love for his teacher, and used it to destroy his gift. And the reason? To protect Arjuna's status. To make sure a forest boy could never be better than a prince. To maintain the hierarchy. That is the Mahabharata. It does not hide its cruelties behind divine justification. It shows them to you, raw and bleeding, and lets you sit with the discomfort. Eklavya gave his thumb and never complained. He practiced left-handed. Some texts say he became formidable even without his right thumb, but he was never the same. The greatest archer who ever lived was not Arjuna. It was a boy in a forest with a clay statue and a missing thumb.